Hi everyone, this is your very last video that I'm going to end up showing you on mastering the mommy makeover. I really hope that you've enjoyed these videos so far and you know, just have loved it. Anyway, so we're going to go through everything. I just washed off all the makeup that I had on from the 30-second makeover, and we're actually going to do a full makeover. This makeover is going to be completely different than you've been taught in the different steps. As you can hear, my little ones making a little bit of noise. But anyway, usually they start out with foundation, and this I'm going to show you a whole different technique. And the reason why is because when you're a mom or you're super busy, you don't know how much actual time you have. So I'm going to give you the most important steps, and then you're going to kind of continue. I'm also going to show you some little tricks and tips that will save you some money also. So again, the first thing that I'm going to end up doing is applying my foundation, which is your moisturizer. That's your biggest foundation. That's going to be applied on a stick and then applied to the back of your hand. And then you're going to, and this should really, your biggest makeover that you're going to have when you go out to dinner. And again, some people use a different face cream, but you know, I don't know about you guys, but I just don't have time. And as you can, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but she's really asking for me. So we're going to really kind of hurry through like you kind of would when you do a mommy makeover. So that's my biggest thing. No matter what you do to your skin, moisturizer is the most important. Typically, people will do their whatever foundation, so powder or liquid, depending on your skin type. We talked about that in the first video. If you kind of, you know, not quite sure, or you kind of looked over the first video, go back to that first video, and that's where I explain a little bit about which moisturizer would actually work best for you. Now the second thing is that you really need to decide, do you want your lips to be very noticeable, or do you want your eyes? I will always choose eyes over lips. It's a preference. If it's your lips, you're going to do your lips. If your eyes, you're going to do your eyes. But today, hopefully that 3 to 5 minutes, you should be able to do lips and eyes. So I'm actually going to start with the eyes. And since we have the 3 to 5 minutes, and I know it's going to be my eyes that I'm really going to want to shine, I'm going to take, again, one of my brushes, and I'm actually going to use a brush that you haven't seen yet, which is a pretty flimsy brush. I like this little narrow brush. I'm going to use a cream, again, first video explained why I'm using a cream, brown hair, brown eyes cream, and I'm actually going to just take this very light color that we didn't do before. I'm going to put it on the inside of my eye, so I want that to really come out. Can you see the difference? And then I'm going to take really light up here. Again, we only have 3 to 5 minutes, so we're just going to do this really quick. And to the end, this is for my eyes. So if, let's say you have, when you look at your eye shape, and let's say you have a ton of lid, you do not want to put anything light on your lid because it's going to pop out, right? So, but for me, I can put a little bit right through here so it pops out a little bit, and that will actually look good for my eye. Do you see the difference? See how that really pops out? Do you see that? Okay. So for me, putting light right here is actually going to work really, really well. Some people put a medium tone. We don't have time for all that, right? We're moms. Right? So then I'm going to take my other brush that I like really, and it's the same thing when we did the 30-second, but I'm actually going to choose, you know what, no, I'll choose the same color, and I'm going to put it right to the dark part of my eye, and I'm going to do it really dark so you can end up seeing. See how that is? So we'll darken it up a little bit. So for nighttime, just put it on super dark, and just kind of slowly kind of blend it in a little, but not a whole lot. For every time wear, lighten it up, make it look really natural. Okay? Still looks natural, really dark. But do you see how my eyes just kind of pop right now? So that's what you do with that. Now I'm going to show you, for evening time, I'm going to show you how to do this pencil. Now you're going to notice with this pencil we're going to get as low as we can, and again I'm doing this on here, we're going to get as low as we can, and I'm actually tickling my eyelashes. So how I do it is I go from the outer edge and I draw a line, and you just keep going kind of like you're trying to color. Go to the center, come to the inside of your eye, and go the other way. That's going to help you the most. But do you see how there's like, you can't really see in the video, but there's white right through here. If you're like, oh my god, I always have white right there, I can't do it. To be perfectly honest, my friend, it's everybody. So again, can you see how rough and weird that looks? Okay. So that's how you get that really bold eyes, is you want to use your pencil. Please don't leave it alone. And don't be frustrated with it. You're not alone. So then you're going to take your powder and you're going to go back over it. And it's going to be your really black brown. And so it's a cream eyeliner. Most eyeliners are either wet or cream. So the black is going to end up blending it for you. And that's how you get that nice kind of evening kind of look to it. Okay? So I just did it. So that's how you do, see, pop, easy, right? Stop the video. If you have any questions, let me know. But so out to center, in to center, and just kind of go back and forth. Don't worry about, be as messy as you want. It's just makeup. It's not brain surgery. It's not a big deal, right? Okay. So then we're going to apply the mascara. For an evening look, you want to get as close to the eye as you can and go up and again. And then don't go quite into the center. It kind of gives you, do you see how it kind of gives you that almond look? You see it? See the difference? Now watch. And as far as you can, and just touch the outside lashes. Breathing. Yay! Okay. Now it's time for so if that's all you have time for because the baby's crying and you're having a hard time, that's all you have time for. That will be your evening look. Apply a lip gloss and you're good to go, okay? If you have some more time and you want to focus on your lips, I am cheap. And I'm not a big lip person because that's just not how I prioritize my time. But what I do is I stick the stick into my moisturizer. I use my moisturizer for just about everything. Can you see that? I'm so not good at this. There you are. Now I'm going to take a color from my eyeshadow, and I'm going to take the end of my stick, and I'm going to, I'll just use this one, and I'm going to dip it into the eyeshadow, and I'm going to put it into my moisturizer. And you ask, why in the dickens would I do that? You can, if you have a pink blush that you're like, I love this pink blush, but I never wear it, make it into lipstick. And then all you have to do is I like a long brush that I made, and I stick it in the lip gloss, and then that is what I'm applying for lipstick. I want my eyes to pop. If you really want your lips to pop, you put on a really bright lipstick or a bold lipstick, and you don't play up your eyes. You never want to do both. You don't want to have bold eyes and bold lips, because have you ever looked at somebody who's like, oh, I love their makeup, they just look off a little bit? Rule of thumb, only play up one or the other. So I'm doing a nice neutral lip so that my eyes pop. And you're like, well, what about the foundation? We've talked a little bit about a foundation, and then when do I put on my blush? I don't always have time for a blush. Sometimes this is all I have time for. But there's some times that I now have time for foundation. Now listen, if you end up getting a broad spectrum or like kind of a foundation powder combo, do not worry about concealer. If you really need concealer, then you want to use, it'll say concealer, and you want to, and I'll show you how to use this. You want to take your long brush that looks like this, Okay? So remember, firm brush, you have a lot of control over. This will give nice clean lines. So you want the longer at top and you want it to be smaller. Hope you can see that okay. You stick it into the concealer, just a little bit, and you only want, I'm going to make it a little bit more, I hope you can see this. You're only going to put the part, see where that's kind of dark right there? And you're only going to put it there. And you're like, well, I thought I was supposed to put on the whole eye. If you think about it, does that make sense to you? It doesn't. Light brings out and brings it all out. Dark hides. So if you go and you take concealer and you put it all underneath, it's just going to be this, it's going to look the same as you did when you didn't have it, because it's going to bring it all out at the same time. That doesn't make sense. So you only want to take the part, you know, being a mom and staying up all night, you only want to take the part that you need to bring out, because it has like a little crevice from where I'm tired. So I'm just going to put it just on the little part that, and then, do you see the difference? Okay. Then we're going to put it on the other side. And again, we're only going to put on the part where it really needs it. So just, it's so hard to do it on a camera, I've learned. Okay? I'm going to use my finger a little bit. Just on the part that kind of dips out. Okay? Alright, and that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to take my foundation. And yeah, some people, they're like, you have to use a sponge. Well, I don't got time for a sponge. And to be honest, a sponge look gives it that cakey look. Now, if you're going to go in front of a camera, you're going to be in a photo shoot, a sponge is definitely the way to go. If you're a busy mom, you want everyday makeup, and you want it to blend nicely, which is if you use a sponge, you need to blend it. Don't just use a sponge and that's it. I actually don't recommend a sponge for everyday makeup. So the parts that are really, most people are like, oh, I'm all splotchy or whatever, is you want to put it right in your forehead. It's that T-zone, okay? T-zone, oh, you can hear baby. And for somebody like me, who I'm not a big lip or blush person, guess what I do? I leave the foundation out on my cheeks. Why? Because that's where you want it to be red anyway. But somebody that has time to do cheeks, so if that's all you got, that's all you got, right? Somebody that has time for your cheeks, you're going to take your finger and you're going to, again, your cheeks should be, your fingers should be nice and moisturized, so you should be all set. You're going to dip it in a little bit, and then you're going to apply a little bit of pink powder with your fingers to your cheeks. And they're going to be nice and red. How simple is that, right? It's awesome. Now, if you're like, great, she's still happy and I want to apply more makeup because it's a lot of fun, let's do some shadowing. Awesome. This is the time to do some shadowing. So then you want to actually take your dark colors, whatever dark colors you choose, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to use kind of like you want to use your, like, the medium shade that you always like. What do I do with this medium? There's a light eyeshadow, there's a dark eyeshadow, and then there's that medium color. What do I do with it? Shading is the best thing to do that. Again, if you were in a photo shoot or TV, then you do 3 different colors on your eyes, and great. But for moms, we don't have time for that. So then you just take a dark, whatever dark color you want. I'm going to choose this one, I think, and you're going to apply it to with your finger. Why your finger? Because it's natural oils and it's going to do what? It's going to blend. Now, if you have a powder, which I always have a powder with me, and the reason why is because sometimes my skin is really oily. When it's really oily, I'll apply a powder. When my skin's dry and dehydrated like it is now because I'm breastfeeding, then I don't want this because it's going to look really cakey. So now your skin's nice and moisturized. You're just going to take the eyeshadow, you're going to mix it with like a little bit of your moisturizer, and you're just going to, now I want my cheekbones to pop out, right? So you're just going to take, right here, a little bit of powder. See that pop? And I know, it's not very dramatic, but right here, pop! Ah. Then you're going to take a little bit, and you're going to go, I want this to, so it's darker. Perfect. Pop. Yeah. Okay. It's perfect. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit darker shade because I want to go darker. There. Then you're going to take your same light eyeshadow, remember that we did up here? And you're like, oh, I want my cheekbones to be even more. You're going to take the top of your cheekbones because you want that to pop. You're going to make a line here. You're going to make a line here. Now, that, for me explaining everything and everything else, did take 15 minutes. But the steps all together should only take you 3 minutes. Okay? If it takes you more than 3 to 5 minutes, then make sure, I want you to do your makeup right now, make sure that if you're taking like 10 minutes or 8 minutes, make sure you write that in the Facebook blog and say, hey, how can I shorten this up? Your makeup, seriously, full makeup, foundation, eyeliner, everything, should only be taking you 3 to 5 minutes. If it's taking you longer, then there's something that I need to help you with or tweak you with. Okay? So that is the very last video on our 3-part series. I hope I've given you tons and tons and tons of tips that you maybe didn't know before, and maybe just a refresher on things that you did know. So it's been so much fun doing this class with you. I hope you've enjoyed our hour together. So I'm going to, for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to stay right here on Facebook with you. I want you to apply these principles, that what I just showed you, and I want you to do your makeup, and I want you to take a picture so that I can see how you did and if you have any questions. So I'm going to stay on for a while. So when it's time to sign off, I will say, hey, I'm signing off, and that will be the end of our class. So again, thank you so much. If you ended up liking this class, please tell all of your friends. I think I'm going to do it again. Some people have asked me to, when am I going to do this class again? And I think I might do it again fairly soon. So if you do have a friend that might be interested in that, have them sign up for my next event. So anyway, thank you so much, and I hope I helped. Alright, good luck mastering that Mommy Makeover. Alright, bye.